It is virgin land.
It is vibration. It is virgin land. It is Virginia. Yeah, we back in the frequency. Love to Dorje Daka. Keeping us in that 432 hertz. This is the stuff that we love, you know. Getting on our site, man. Keeping it going. Keeping it fluid. Keeping it fluid. Love to everybody, man. Surfing the wave. Love to the family. Man, special love, man. We getting there. We getting there. Okay. Now we coming. That's a great start, y'all. That's a great start. We're trying to raise at least 10,000 to always have as an emergency, always have, you know, ready to supply to our family, J. Stu, the community, those that are getting the wilderness set up. All right, so we got the land, like we said. We got our 10 acres, so now we're okay. Now we're getting set up. Now it's time to go. So as we start to, you know, make that transition and everything, man, all the family, no matter what your plan is or what wilderness it is, you know what I'm saying? It's just good to know we are in a proactive situation. So I just want to give some love to the family that is showing that the effort's being, you know, monetized. The effort's being put out there. Michelle McKay, I appreciate your beautiful drop. Sharon Ford, thank you so much, my sister, for your beautiful drop. My brother Aki, Kenneth Person, thank you so much, my brother Kenneth, for your beautiful drop. My brother Francisco, if you ain't subscribed, you ain't know nothing about it, man. Subscribe to the brother Francisco Perez. Got nothing but the drop fresh from Hawaii. Steady rocking. Love to our sister Wilma Bates. She says, my prayers are with you. Brother Francisco says, hey. My sister Sharon Ford said, great work. My sister Michelle McKay says, thank you for all the hard work. Man, it's beautiful. My brother Taurus Hawk says, thank you, Marcus, for the drops. Like I said, some people call me Marcus. Some people call me Drop. But those that love me call me Elia King. All right, so thank you, Marcus, for the drop. Much love, family. The search is real and everyone's voyage is different. However, you provide a light for all to see with the opportunity to reset their compass. For that, I appreciate you. And for that, my brother, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And you, my sister, Sherry Hightower, Essence Hunter, October Scorpio, and many more to come. There you go. So we're getting there, and that feels good. You know, like we said, you know, we keep a good tally and a rally on things. I got a spreadsheet. We got it all, you know, mapped up. So, you know, we know that, you know, we already have put 450 into our community so far, you know, in different emergency capacities, you know, building up. So, you know, we know that this 1,040 minus the 450 is what we have left, and we're going to keep building that. And I'll keep telling you as we, you know, make whatever transaction towards our community that you know, because unfortunately, you know, this doesn't keep track for you, so you don't know exactly, you know, what's been, you know, withdrawn or taken towards this. So I say it so we all have documented, transparent proof and evidence. You can go back to any videos. You can say, all right, on December such and such, drop said that exactly 450 has already gone out of there and gone towards J. Stu and the beautiful community, the beautiful Camellia, setting up, you know, our indigenous roots. And as you support them, you're supporting yourself. You're supporting a family that's setting up an indigenous community, indigenous roots for all of us as we build on that. That's believing in you. They're believing in you. They're believing in all of us. So what we're doing is for all of us. But we have to get it set up. We have to form a nucleus. And this is ours. And we can have many of these. This is just one example of how to do it. You don't have to surf the exact same way we're surfing. No one's forced or obligated to deal with nobody. But the Most High is making it connect in a perfect way, according to a perfect wave. And don't fight it. Don't resist order. Let it go. Let it flow. So keep letting it flow. You know what I'm saying? Keep letting it go. Whether you do it, fast, or whether you do it slow, keep letting it go. Keep letting it flow. Love the Drop Nation. And love to Jay Stu for hitting me for this. You know what I'm saying? I said, Jay, what is hitting for? He said, man, it's hitting for that foe. It's hitting for Malachi 4. You already know. Alright, so don't let me start freestyling facts. Don't think I forgot. Right after this Press It Down series, I'm about to come and freestyle facts on y'all again. Have a great time. Alright, Malachi 4, let's get it for Jay Stu. Let you vibrate. Yeah, it's a short chapter, so let's go. Let's get it on. For behold, the day come, that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly, shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith, hey, ya, ha-ya. That it shall cleave, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. Neither root nor branch. But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings. And ye shall go forth and grow up as calves of the stall. And this is so beautiful because you're reading the Son, right? But are we talking the Son, the S-O-N? This is the S-U-N. So Son of Righteousness, we're almost just talking about a frequency. And just so you know, we're not just talking about one man. We're saying, and ye shall go forth. So we're talking about who? Israel, as a nation. Doesn't the Most High call you the anointed? You the only begotten. He said, I've only known you. In Hosea 3, Joel 3 and 4, 2, all around there, I've only known you. All the nations are a spittle, spit in a vase, in a vase, in a vessel, a drop of spittle compared to the refined gold, the energy, the frequency that you are, that you can't run from because you are. But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness, the frequency, arise with healing in his wings. And ye shall go forth and grow up as calves of the stall. And ye shall tread down the wicked, for they shall be ashes unto the soles of your feet. In the day that I shall do this, saith Hoya. Remember the law of Moshe, my servant, which I commanded unto him in Horeb for all Israel, with the statutes and judgments. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of Hayah. So we know our prophets are returning. Hey, when I said that you're remembering, this is what I mean. You don't have to learn the stuff or debate it. You will know. And when you know, no one can take it from you. And he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to their fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse. So order must be restored. That which has been established must be cursed for order to be restored. We did not begin in chaos. We began in order. No matter how hard they tried to make you believe in a Big Bang, it is a little bit more specific than that. And it's all about you. So we're going to keep vibrating. Love to my man, Jay Stu. Love to the beautiful family. Surfing all the way, man, making it happen. We're just doing it, man. We're just doing it, man. So, keep on vibing. Keep on getting that vibration. I'm going to jump into it, man. This is Feature Drop. This is Feature Drop. Who knows where we're going? We're surfing the wave. This is Feature Drop. This is Feature Drop. Who knows where we're going? We're surfing the wave. We got some great stuff to feature, so it all connects. You're going to see how this wave really flows. Let's start with my man Immanuel, Hizkiyah. Much love to this king. Look at him. He's gleaming. He's vibrating. He knows what time it is. He knows he ain't spinning on a ball. And he told you that. Let go.
First and foremost, I want to give all praises to our Creator. Second, I take no credit for that video that you just saw. And third, right, if you don't understand what they're trying to say, then I just don't know what else to tell you. You know what I mean? You do know what a Blasian is, right? I would hope so. I would hope you know what a Blasian is. You know what I mean? It takes a so-called black person and an Asian to create a Blasian, right? That's why they call them Blasians in the first place. So, the fact that they called them Blasians and the fact that they did a comparison like that should have you wonder. Phenotypes doesn't lie, right? They say pictures don't lie. Pictures say 1,000 words. That's what they like to say, right? Pictures say 1,000 words. So does evidence. You know what I mean? When evidence just keep popping up all over the place constantly like that, it's not a coincidence. You know what I mean? I always say there's no such thing as a coincidence. Because if it is, then there's something there. Whether if it's bad or if it's good. You know what I mean? If it's a coincidence, then something is there. Period. So, this is a short video. I'm not really going to be talking on it much. I just did this so, you can think. You know what I mean? Think about that. Think about exactly why they did that comparison. Think about, what's a Blasian, alright? And then, put the two and two together with that, and then with all the evidence in general. Come on, so-called black man, you're indigenous. You are the indigenous to this whole earth. You know what I mean? This whole flat earth.
Told you.
I want to make that clear too. You know,
you know he ain't spinning.
But I'm on my way.
King.
Let's go handle business. You guys, gotta be easy.
Be easy. Drop Nation. Come out to play. Come out to play. Man, if y'all ain't seen this, I never saw this role in Marlon Brando did in Roots, man. This was crazy, man. Playing a straight up Nazi. talking a lot of yang. Y'all click on this. He gonna talk a lot of yang about you, man. I never saw it, so I put this up for y'all to see. Whenever somebody's talking yang about you, man, love the Tyrone Street. This drop is super cold, man. When I come back and freestyle facts, it might be to this track, man. This is a few minutes. I'm just gonna let it rock. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those joints you gotta read. So I'll try to read while it goes, but I ain't gonna slow it down. Let's listen to me voice. Let go. But just right quick, we did a whole drop, man. Me, the brother Silas Nehemiah, Rah the Great One, man, D. Will, man, we did a whole drop, Political Might, on this CERN. CERN knows what they're doing in CERN, Switzerland, right on the temple of Apollo, with the god or goddess Shiva, right there, dancing the dance of destruction. They doing occult dances. They got all that stuff right there on the temple of Apollo in CERN, Switzerland, and it's CERN. It's the horned god. So what's happening in CERN? It's CERN. It's the horned one. It's Abaddon. It's Apollyon. It's all that. All that. All right? That's all I'm saying. Let's go. Yeah, this beat is crazy, man. I mean, man, my campaign, man. Let go, let go, let go. Holding a bag of money. That shit look funny. It look kind of bummy. Rubbing Santa's tummy. He is not so cunning. He's a bitch. Alright, let me start freestyling facts, man. The horn god is born of winter. Alright, so they're equating the Cernunos with Santa, man. Uh-oh. Tyrone Street got to drive the... I got to read this, alright? Because everybody's all up in this frequency. I got to cut right through it with the blade. Hiya, hiya. The tradition of Christmas, or December 25th, as the birth of Jesus Christ, is Zeus Christ, Krishna, the main figure of the New Testament, who is believed to be nearly 2 billion, Christians worldwide to have been God. Oh, by 2 billion Christians believe that this Jesus Christ is God in the flesh, came to save mankind from its sins. Is traceable to the late 2nd to 3rd century AD. During that time, the church father Cyprian remarked, "Oh, how wonderfully acted Providence, that on that day on which that Son was born, S-U-N, Christ should be born." In other words, the Savior's birth was being observed at the winter solstice. So if you don't understand the connection of the S-O-N to the S-U-N, man, is you playing? Yeah, this beat is crazy, man. Let me tell you. Oh, let me tell you. Cernuno. Alright, man, y'all go check out that Cernunos, man. There's much more to it. I just want to do a, like a cartwheel with a belly flop, man. Let's just get this, man. So y'all remember the homie RFG. I mean, the brother, man, you know what I'm saying? You know, he's the epitome of surfing the wave. Like, he he's so, you know what I'm saying, committed to wherever he's at. You know what I'm saying? That it's incredible with the confidence he has, man. You know what I'm saying? When he's, you know, making these type of predictions and doing his thing, you know what I'm saying? So he's one of those dudes that I really do focus on the things that we agree with much more than things that, you know, we don't, you know what I'm saying? And that's how we need to deal with all of, you know, each other, you know what I'm saying? So RFG, all right, so y'all remember this Super Bowl prophecy. The brother picked the Colts to win the Super Bowl a long time ago. He said they're going to be the first team, you know, making a comeback, and then, you know, all this stuff happened. Now, you may not follow the Roman Colosseum sports, the gladiator sport, but the brother made he made a pick, and I kind of want to see what happens. So we're kind of, you know, following up on this. This is a follow-up to this pick. Now, I'm not a betting man, but if you had if you had bet on the Colts a long time ago, you might be on your way. I don't know. That's what the brothers say. Colts and Vikings is what the brothers say. Let go. Let's see what's happening, man. RFG, take it away.
I bet this is what the Colts did after the Texans game.
Ric Flair on.
Oh shit, this shit is rigged, people. It's WWE. That's what this video is telling you, man. You're gonna have the same outcome in the Super Bowl, people. It's gonna be Colts over Vikings. Okay? I want everybody to understand that we are watching nothing but WWE with a football. Period.
Man. So much style. So much style, Ric Flair. Ain't that about bitch?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the Colts don't give a damn. That's what they do in the locker room, people, because they know these outcomes of these sporting events are already predetermined, okay? Nobody's going to do that if they know that they're going to lose or if they lose. Nobody's going to do that, okay? I bet money that's what the Colts did after the Texans lost on Sunday. Okay, now I want everybody to understand that everything is a riddle. Everything that the global elites do, especially when they rig sporting events, they rig it through a numerical riddle. Okay, I was wrong about the certain records that the Colts and the Vikings would have at the end of the season. But here's where the riddle plays out. Okay, the Colts are going to finish 9-7. The Vikings are going to finish 9-7. Why is that? It is the 97th year of pro football. It's the 97th year of pro football. So this will be the first Super Bowl where you'll have two teams end up in the Super Bowl that started 9-7. Okay? And they'll be fighting over their 13th win. Who's going to get their 13th win in the Super Bowl? Okay? So I got the particular records that the teams are going to hold. I got those wrong. And there's nothing wrong with that. As long as those two teams make the playoffs, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. One thing I got right is Purple Jesus returning on Christmas Eve. As you can see this article right here. Ladies and gentlemen, Adrian Peterson said he's coming back. And he said he's going to bring his team to Houston. Okay, he's going to put his team on his back and carry them all the way to Houston. Right here, Adrian Peterson, Purple Jesus. Ladies and gentlemen, they already had the shirts. They already had the shirts pre-planned because
Y'all
this
thought it
whole
was
thing
play?
was pre-planned. Adrian Peterson faked his injury. This is all a ritual.
You thought it was play?
It's all a ritual, people. It's all a ritual. And by the way, the only way the Vikings can make the playoffs is if the Giants lose 3 straight games and miss the playoffs. The Vikings already beat the Giants earlier in the season, so they have the tiebreaker over the Giants. So therefore, if the Giants finish 9-7 and the Vikings finish 9-7, the Vikings get the 6th seed. Remember, the Vikings means the 6 kings. The 6 kings will get the 6th seed. Ladies and gentlemen, it is all getting ready to fall into place. Also, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to lose 3 straight games, so the Vikings can get that 6th seed spot. Mark my words. Okay? So like I said, I don't give a damn if I get some. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not about who gets every single game prediction right, who gets it wrong. As long as the person gets the final outcome right, that's all that matters. Period. Okay? So like I said, the only way for this team right here, the Minnesota Vikings, to get in the playoffs is if the Giants lose 3 straight games and the Bucks lose 3 straight games, and that is exactly what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Purple Jesus is back, just like I predicted. Okay? Another thing I want to talk about is the Colts. Okay, the Colts schedule. When you look at the Colts schedule, they got the Vikings next, week 15. Then they got the Raiders and the Jaguars to end the season. The Colts are going to end up beating the Minnesota Vikings. So the Vikings get their 7th loss. Okay? The Colts are going to beat them. But guess what? Adrian Peterson is not going to play for the Indianapolis Colts game. Adrian Peterson's coming back for the Christmas Eve game against the Packers. So what's going to play out is it's going to be a very close game. Okay, it's going to go down to the wire. And mark my words, Adam Vinatieri is going to kick a game-winning field goal in the game against the Colts and the Vikings. Adam Vinatieri is going to kick the game-winning field goal. Remember what...
Hey, man. It's a bold prediction, but that's what RFG does. He makes bold predictions. All right? All right? And just keep that in mind. We want a couple more. Here's the last little minute, for those that are really in it.
But you heard it first. When they meet back up in the Super Bowl, it's going to come down to an Adam Vinatieri field goal or the Viking kicker missing the field goal. Remember where you heard it first, people. It's all lining up into play. Okay? The Houston Texans are getting ready to lose 3 straight games to the Jaguars, to the Bengals, and to the Titans. Mm-hmm. Actually, the Texans only have to lose 2 out of 3 games. If the Texans lose 2 out of their last 3 games, ladies and gentlemen, the Colts will get the 4th seed in the playoffs. Okay? When the Titans lose to the Chiefs and the Titans get their 7th loss, their season is done because the Colts already swept the Titans. So even if the Titans finish 9-7, the tiebreaker goes to the Colts. This is all falling into place as we speak. It's not a game. It's not a joke. Okay? It's all pre-scripted, pre-planned. You already saw what the Colts were doing in the locker room. They were imitating Ric Flair because this shit is nothing but WWE, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Okay, I just wanted to post this video to clear it all up. Yes, I can admit, RFG can admit when he's wrong.
All right. So sometimes we got to get that sports drop, man. We got to, we can't go so hard with the Preston Giants. We got to see what's going on in the gladiator arena, just like the political gladiator arena. All right? What's your arena? Now, I want to give some special love to my brother Hiram. If y'all don't go subscribe to this brother, Sidap, the Egyptian treasure cave of the Grand Canyon. Now, I want to get this right quick. Then I'm going to go back to my brother RFG Chosen One. Then I want to go back to my brother Hiram with this latest drop. Cause that's just how we do it, man. We surfing the wave. Can you dig it? Can you dig it? My brother Hiram. Yo, we're gonna belly flop. But first, let's get the intro.
Shalom. Blessings. Shalom. Alright. So this is whatever it is, part 2 or 3. We're getting back into the Egyptian treasure cave of the Grand Canyon. We already know the story. But what we do know, what we did find out is this William A. Somerville, PhD, he died over this paperwork. That's what's alleged. That's what it says. That he died over this 45 pages. Okay? And it didn't even come from him. You understand? He was just writing. He was just writing. He was putting it in the book, putting it in the form. So, rest in power, William A. Somerville, PhD. He died for this information. So did a bunch of others. Say they disappeared. G.E. Kincaid. It's a beautiful thing that the Father has blessed us with this information, and this information is able to touch our tongues, touch our lips, touch our hands. So, the Egyptian treasure cave of the Grand Canyon by William A. Somerville, PhD. Alright, so we're going to get into that. It's a beautiful thing. Like I said, I had to order it. I waited on last and this happened.
Alright, so check on this, man. We definitely need to get some PDFs on this joint, man. Let me know, sticky fingers. Uno got the drop, man. Uno hit me with that last drop, man, real quick, like in seconds. I said, man, if anybody can find this drop that the sister M.A. Truth was dropping, The Secret Destiny of America, the brother Uno has hit me with at least, dang near 100 different PDFs that I still haven't even got a chance to put those up in the library. So our library is going to keep growing just because of you, just because of your energy, brothers like Uno and everybody else that's sending me links. Thank you. Send them again, you know what I'm saying, if you think I might have missed it, because sometimes I do miss things. So let's belly flop right quick, and I want to get back to my brother RFG Chosen One. I want to get into a little bit of what he's dropping right about here. My brother Hiram, love to you, bro. Let's go.
Let me present some people to you, man. Let me present some people to you, man, and I'll tell you why. But Jill, alright, originally known as H. Rap Brown. He said it in the 60s, man. He said it over 50 years ago, and still today it is relevant to us. The message from H. Rap Brown. Alright, so why don't we just check his message out? Because he can tell you better than I can about. No, seriously, y'all check this out. Don't hate. Alright, don't hate. Check this out. My brother, my uncle, H-Rap Brown, and how he feels about the election. He was in a public forum. I was articulated the Senate better than others. Public forum. I don't think that you could articulate the Senate of black people last year any better than we did in Detroit. So I think the movement is a leaderless movement, whereas we might influence people, we control people. Well, how does this solidarity come about? There is no.
Oh man, they got this playing on fast forward. See how they do it, y'all. You know what I'm saying? You see how they do it. Whenever we got something you dropping, they do weird stuff like this. Y'all see how they do our view counts and they choke our counts and comments. They also do this type of stuff. They speed little videos up and they don't want you to hear certain things. And it's weird, man. But it must be that real. Let's see if it gets any clearer.
Wage war, and unless you devise another plan, another scheme to sustain, to boost this economy, then it's going to be necessary to wage war. Whether a black individual is in office or white individual in office. Well, we're talking about complete change system.
Yeah, sorry people. I know they speeding it up on us. Let's do one more little belly flop before we get into the brother's last video that I really want to. I mean, when you understand what's really here, what's really pulling us here, what's really connecting to us here, maybe the picture will get clearer. So, we ain't gonna let the static, stop us. Don't never let static stop you. Let's go, my brother. Let it go, let it float. Egyptian treasure cave.
So, let's get into it.
Let's get it.
I had you waiting long enough. The Egyptian treasure cave of the Grand Canyon by William A. Somerville, Ph.D. This man lost his life. We'll get into that. Alright? We'll get into that. This man lost his life. We'll get into it. Alright? Prologue. I first met Dr. Somerville while teaching at Utah Valley University in Utah. He was about 12 years older than myself and was looking forward to a retirement in a few years. We share an academic interest in historic anomalies. Anomalies meaning there's just small items that don't fit, like you said. Parts of history that don't really fit, but they fucking real believable. Like, and some, the ones that don't fit because they not believable. So anomalies will just be small parts of history that don't fit. The orthodox version of history. Neither of us believed in ancient aliens, yet we openly discuss how some events or objects might fit into the stream of history. That is why I believe we became such good friends. William Andrew Somerville was born in 1943 in Landmark, Scotland, UK. Okay. He came to the America in 1955 with his parents, but returned for his undergraduate studies at the University of Edinburgh. We often sat and played chess, discussed some historical anomaly in an open and friendly manner. To my knowledge, he never had married, and he had no living relatives that I know. Perhaps that is why he had this document addressed to me. In the spring of 2014, Dr. Somerville was killed in an automobile accident. They believe that a drunk driver sideswiped his car just as he was getting out of in front of his home. He was killed instantly. The car that hit him was found about 6 blocks away, abandoned. It was a stolen car, and the drunk driver was never found. When the university cleaned out his office, they found a box addressed to me with some of his research and first-hand accounts of his field explorations. I have done my best to keep his original words with some minor alteration. He always called the trunk of a car a boot or a flashlight, a torch. It is amazing how the words we learn in our youth tend to stay with us. So I have made small changes to help the reader understand what he was talking about. That's sentence. Okay. The Egyptian treasure cave. So, alright, so William Simmons, supposedly 2014, was buried. Got into a car accident outside of his home. And so this guy brought this information out. Okay, so now that's 3 dead. Williams, who bought the book, of Kincaid, who did the research, as Jordan, who did the research, is also missing or can't be found. So let's see. The Egyptians.
So people are taking L's to get this information out, and you can imagine when people are finding the truth about the Grand Canyon's connection to Egypt, just like Horace Butler's bringing out in this book. I can't wait to drop. Obviously, it's hard to find a PDF. I will make my own eventually, But until then, I will, start dropping more out of it. How the brother, went through so much when he, asked the right questions. And how certain librarians would tell him, like, look, people don't like talking about the, copper color indigenous people. They like covering the lies. So let's keep going, man. Let's keep going. Doing a great job, my brother Hiram. Love featuring this brother. It's always so full of energy, man. So full of frequency. So full of that real truth, indigenous truth. Let's go. The Egyptian treasure cave. Whoever ain't talking about this ain't truly concerned about Egypt. They're more concerned about covering up their research or covering up their ego. We have no ego here because we don't have to stand on being right about all these things. We just have to ask the right questions, and together we will get our solution. The Egyptian treasure cave, right here, Arizona, Colorado. My brother, let's go.
Egyptian treasure cave. I first heard about the alleged treasure caves of the Grand Canyon on a silly television program. You know, the kind that repeats itself after every commercial break and is more about an artificial drama than any real facts, all of which could have been stated in a 3-minute infomercial instead of an hour of pointless investigation that discovers nothing. While I find it very long stretch to believe that ancient Egyptians hauled tons of golden treasures, okay? While I find it very stretch to believe that ancient Egyptians hauled tons of golden treasures halfway around the world only to bury it in some remote and inaccessible cave in the Grand Canyon, I was interested in reading the original article from 1909 Arizona Gazette, because pretty much accuracy. So interested in reading the original 1909 Arizona Gazette. Found in the Appendix A. Wow, I don't believe in ancient aliens or lost Atlantis as the source and answer to all historical mysteries. I do accept as a professor of humanity and history that there are artifacts, places, and events that don't fit the conventional history taught to my students in the public school systems. Alright? For the speed with the Giza pyramids, the speed with which the Giza pyramids were constructed. Children are taught that the pyramids were built about 10-20 years each, with stone blocks weighing an average of 40 tons each, and that the pyramid contains about 2.3 million stone blocks, all cut out of the quarry by hand with copper or stone tools hauled on sleds without wheels and moved into a place without mortar, and all done so precise, about 1/50th of an inch, that a knife blade can fit into the joint. The math doesn't work. Okay? A knife or blade can't fit into the joint. The math doesn't work. They would have had to cut, move, and place more than 12 40-ton blocks of stone each hour around the clock, both day and night, if they only worked in the daylight. Which makes more sense than a 40-block ton had to be placed about every 3 to 4 minutes, faster for the smaller stones and slower for the larger stones. If the blocks are not cut and hauled just as fast as they are placed into the pyramid, the builders run out of the blocks to place into the pyramids. The math just doesn't work, yet the school system continues to teach this as a known fact. Well, the math doesn't work because the timeline doesn't work. So when they say that there is range, remember they're talking about dualities of kings. they're talking about the maladies of kings. So 20 years of pyramid, man. You know, even Thoth, the immortality, said that, you know, he had someone build the pyramids. He said he didn't build them either. He had a slave build the pyramids. Okay, so y'all check that out.
Indeed.
So, yeah, of course it don't line up. Because they really don't know. Like I said, I don't believe that the aliens build the pyramids, but I do it now. He just saying he don't believe that the aliens build the pyramids. He just saying that, and he don't believe that, you know, it's a mixture. Aliens, the fallen angels build pyramids. I don't know what he means by aliens, but fallen angels build pyramids, and we also build pyramids. You talking about all that, the pyramids over in the Egypts? Yeah, the fallen angels built those pyramids for sure, and we build some mounds and pyramids also. Okay, so, but for what? For what? It was either through Masonic realms, you know, or for what? You know, but we built mounds to live in. So it goes to a mixture of things. So you can't just pinpoint one thing about the mounds and the pyramids, okay? You can't pinpoint one thing because we lived in mounds, we lived in pyramids, we buried pyramids, or we held the bodies in pyramids, which were the caves, so, and trees. And so, I mean, and you can't pinpoint it because it varies, okay? So I'm not sit here and have you believe that it's just one thing, okay? So that's where you get caught up in. So, okay, like I said, Blase, he don't believe it. He's built until his reign and ready for his burial, which I understand. So, with this said, I am open to looking into new ideas and information as I am a student and a teacher of history. Yeah, you need to look into the timeline. Okay. Treasure Cave was Egyptian. Okay. Consider just what is true. As it turns out, the original newspaper article didn't really claim that the Treasure Cave was Egyptian, as much as it implied Eastern origins. Okay, yes, Egypt is in the Near East or Middle East. But that is not the same as what the original article claimed. Alright? As usual, listen up.
Listen up.
As usual, the television program got the facts wrong, as usual. The alleged Treasure Cave was not. The alleged Treasure Cave was not Egyptian, but rather an ancient Eastern style of unknown origins, maybe Egyptians, with claims of Chinese pottery and other artifacts having found in Mexico and South America.
Yeah. It's that weather. Yeah, it's that weather, man. I feel you, bro. I feel you, bro. We gonna make it, though. We gonna make it. Some chemtrails. Chemtrailing us, man.
So as usual, television programs got the wrong facts. The alleged Treasure Cave was not Egyptian, but rather an ancient Eastern style, meaning the style was Eastern, but what they're saying is an indigenous style, okay? Of unknown origins, maybe Egyptian, with claims of Chinese pottery and other artifacts having been found in Mexico and South America already widespread in the academic community. This changes the possibility of what the alleged cave really was. It could make a difference in the issue of the cave be real or not. So after reading the original article, the matter was filed away in my mind for future reference should the topic come up in conversation or class. Nothing happened to bring the matter back into my conscious mind for several years. I like to frequent secondhand stores. So I said, I guess they're missing something. He liked to visit, frequent visit secondhand stores and shops. Even on my trips to Europe, I prefer to visit the secondhand shops over the normal tourist shops where you can find memories and souvenirs of European castle or towns that have been made in China or India. It was following the trip to Canal. European castles or towns that have been made in China or India, where you can find souvenirs. Now they're making them in India, okay, or China, alright? Okay, so it was following the trip to Kanab, Utah. Alright, big ups to Kanab, Utah, where I found and purchased an 1888 hardback edition of She by H. Rider Haggard. That the Egyptian treasure came back to me. Okay, that the Egyptian treasure came back to me as I examined the book. 2 points caught my attention. On the title page, there was the faded pencil inscription, property of E. Kincaid. So on this book called She by H. Rider Haggard, that the Egyptian treasure came back to me as I examined the book. 2 points caught my attention. On the title page, there was a faded pencil inscription, property of E. Kincaid, with a faded flagstaff, Arizona address. The second point was that someone had slit the book's back end paper from the board and leather cover, creating a pocket into which a folded piece of paper was inserted. Okay, so a piece of paper was in the back of this book that used to be G.E. Kincaid's. Okay. At first, the name Kincaid, as the former owner, was just a momentary curiosity. But after I had purchased the book and removed the folded paper, it clicked in my mind. The paper was a later dated. It was from the Smithsonian Institute and addressed to one Edward Kincaid of Flagstaff, Arizona. The letter said, "Dear Mr. Kincaid, thank you for your letter of inquiry and the 2 samples which we received on April last. We do not believe that the samples, or either Egyptian or of any other Eastern culture." Okay, so they said they don't believe they're Egyptian or they don't believe they're of any Eastern culture. After careful consideration, we believe that they are copies of pre-Columbian artifacts common to the markets of Mexico City.
Bang.
They are neither Aztec nor Mayan, which only shows. Okay, so let me read it again. Thank you for your letter of inquiry and your 2 samples, which we received on April last. We do not believe that the samples are either Egyptian or are either of Eastern culture. After careful consideration, we believe that they are copies of pre-Columbian artifacts common to the markets of Mexico City. Pre-Columbian artifacts common to the markets of Mexico City. Neither are Aztec nor are Mayan, which only shows. they got to ridicule him, right? Which only shows the understanding of ancient Central American culture and history. We are not at this time interested in sponsoring your efforts at exploration, okay, and recovery of any other further objects, okay? The samples will be returned via parcel post. Thank you. The letter was signed W.H. Holmes. It was reading this old faded letter that brought back my memory of the 1909 Arizona Gazette article in the alleged treasure cave, see Appendix 2. All right? So he seen that letter, but he remembered that article that came out in 1909. Okay? Okay. It was reading this, So it was during the Thanksgiving break following that I took some time to make a serious analysis of the article and the alleged caves. What if, instead of being a newspaper host by staff writer, a commonly claimed by debunkers, it was a misquoted and exaggerated story by a newspaper reporter? I have seen myself misquoted or edited into outlandish statements in the press. I have often believed that yellow journalism is still alive and well in America today. In fact, I can say that while I have had newspaper articles that have made me look good, I've never had one that was totally accurate to what was said. One second, let's keep it good. Okay. So it was during the Thanksgiving break.
And the brother's doing a great job. I mean, wouldn't you agree? So when the family or sisters, we have so many wonderful sisters like M.A. Truth, man. I mean, it's mind blasting. It blasts your mind to see the family take the times away from their family to put on a camera and read you something. Let's just take a time, let's just step back for 30 seconds and just say thank you to all that are doing this. Don't want nothing in return. You know what I'm saying? But we will provide you a way, a way to contribute and be a part and do what you got to do for yourself. Because we trying to get somewhere, man. But this brother personally ain't asking for nothing. This brother personally didn't ask for no help, you know what I'm saying, to put up what he put up, you know what I'm saying, to get this land situated. And I love this brother for that. You talking about seeing through the static, dodging the hijack, and coming together for a common goal and doing it quickly. That's my brother right there. All right, Mark, got the drop. Subscribe, support, love it. The brother's taking time to read you this drop. So let's get a couple more minutes before we get back to the RFG and keep it going, keep it flowing.
So it was during the Thanksgiving break following that I looked into that I took some time to make a serious analysis about the article in alleged caves. What if instead of being a newspaper host by a staff writer, as commonly claimed by debunkers, this was debunkers say, to get it up out of there. Like debunkers say, oh, this shit ain't real. It was a misquoted and exaggerated story by a newspaper reporter. I have seen myself misquoted or edited into outlandish statements in the press. I have often believed that yellow journalism is called yellow journalism is still alive and well in America today. In fact, I can say that while I have had newspaper articles that had made me look good, I have never had one that was totally accurate to what was said in the interview. So the odds are in favor to that 1909 article might have been a newspaper exaggeration from a real interview. A newspaper exaggeration from a real interview. It was also possible that the samples viewed and returned by the Smithsonian were indeed cheap tourist copies sold in the markets of Mexico City. Mr. Kincaid may have been a victim of fraud himself, sold fakes by an unknown third party trying to get investors to help recover the alleged treasure. So, right then they just said that they were fakes. That's what Smithsonian said. They were fakes from the Mexico invasion, copies of artifacts. So, but that was the sample, the first 6 pages. If I wouldn't have bought the book, then I wouldn't have seen the actual evidence. So this is beautiful, the actual evidence. If I wouldn't have bought the book, I wouldn't have seen the actual evidence. This is the evidence. Let's get into the evidence. So, it's possible for all these things, but it's also possible that the samples were real. Okay? You read it. I'm just reading. I didn't write it. It's also possible that the samples were real in the Grand Canyon. In the Grand Canyon. Alright?
In the Grand Canyon.
In the Grand Canyon. It is possible that the samples were real, but from a culture not recognized and not known in 1909. A great deal has been learned about Central America and the list of separate native cultures from the pre-Columbian era has grown since the early days of the 20th century. After all, the first photographic study of the land wasn't first made until 1876 by Robert Waller, and the first scientific study was not started until 1891 by Sir Alfred Percival Maudslay. Y'all look that up. So what they're saying is, how could someone in 1909 tell you that these artifacts were from pre-Columbian days and they knew nothing about nothing? That's what they're basically saying. Okay? So they would have debunked it or threw the information out. What he's saying is white people are stupid. That's what he's saying. I didn't say it. That's what he's saying. Because you don't care enough to do the research or the work. You understand? You hate us that much. You understand? You let these people teach you into thinking that we were less. You understand? And now you realize that we were direct descendants and are direct descendants of the Creator. Hey. So it's a beautiful thing. So the first photographer wasn't until 1876. The first scientific study didn't start until 1891. Okay? Y'all can look that up. By Sir Alfred Percival Maudslay. It is very possible that the staff of the Smithsonian, okay, it is very possible, it is very possible that the staff of the Smithsonian was not as well educated on the native cultures, the indigenous cultures of Central America then, as the average armchair explorer is today. Neither one of them know anything. Okay? For those who want to learn, it is very easy to do so in today's information age. But that was not the same case in the 1800s, which we know. It is possible that a 30-year-old scholar at the Smithsonian may not have read the reports just coming back from Sir Alfred, okay? May not have read the reports coming back from Sir Alfred, okay? And Sir Alfred, remember, he was who did the scientific study in 1891. Remember, 1891. Let me go up here. 1891 by Sir Alfred Percival Maudslay. He did the scientific study. Robert Maurer did the first photographic study of the Mayan. Wasn't made until 1876. So we're assuming that the 30-year-old scholar at the Smithsonian may not have read the reports just coming back from Sir Alfred. We should not be too quick to judge them, as they may not have known what color the samples sent by Kincaid were from. It would not be the first time real artifacts were assumed to be fakes, okay? It would not be the first time that real artifacts were assumed to be fake. By the established scholars of academia. In the middle of the 1800s, when the drawings of the Mayan cultures by Catherwood first came to the public attention, it was common belief in the academia that these were the ruins of the lost 10 tribes of Israel. Excuse me.
I'm saying, man, we putting it all on the line, so you see it right there in your face. Boom. Academia. Let's get it back. I got you, King. I got you, King. Recover. It's a lot of reading. Y'all don't understand. It's a lot of words the brothers read. All right? Let's get it back. In the middle of the 1800s, when the drawings of the Mayan culture by Catherwood first came to the public's opinion, it was the common belief in academia that these were the ruins of the lost 10 tribes of Israel or of Atlantis. So, this is not one scholar even comparing the lost tribes of Israel to Atlantis, which is clearly over here in the West. As per dang near all the documents you're going to find in Atlanta, the continents to the west, to the west, to the west, to the west. All these sunken islands, we're going to get to it, man, to the King RFG. Matter of fact, we're going to go right there, man. We're going to go right there. Right on this one. Because this is going to give us a perfect shuffle on over to RFG. So, again, it's not just one scholar. It's common belief in academia. It's their scholars having a common belief that the 10 tribes of Israel or Atlantis, like it's interchangeable, meaning you were already here. Your frequency was hijacked by Egypt, hijacked by Atlantis. Catherwood first came to the public's attention. It was the common belief in academia that these were the ruins of the lost 10 tribes of Israel, Yahweh, or Atlantis. RFG, man, can you give us any clarity? Because we in the classroom, man. We surfing the wave. My bro, I know you got a lot going on, man. Can we just do a somersault, belly flop right into RFG? What does it mean?
You know,
Atlantis?
I get asked this question a lot. And I've been getting asked this question for the past 2 years. You know, and it's basically one of the most important questions that someone can ask. You know, that's just how I feel right now. And that question is, why do the global elite make it their duty to put all their time, effort, money, and energy into poisoning the people in America, poisoning the people in America's water,
Listen up.
poisoning the people in America's food
Listen up.
with, genetic modification,
Listen your ass up.
poisoning the people in America's air with the chemtrails, and also, dumbing us down. You see what I'm saying? With the Hollywood spell, and just spreading nothing but hatred, animosity, and division. Why do the global elite make it their duty to make sure that starts all in America first, that starts in the United States first? Why do they make that their duty? Why don't they put fluoride in the tap water in Europe? Why don't they genetically modify their food? Why don't they spray chemtrails over Europe over Asia?
Come on.
And even, I've already done the research, people, even if they already do, it is nowhere near the amount of poisoning that is going on in North America.
Facts.
I'm talking about physical, spiritual, and mental poisoning.
Facts.
Why is it happening in North America and like no other place on this planet? You want to know why, ladies and gentlemen? Because, like I've been saying before, the people in America, okay, the original people in America are known as God's chosen, the Creator's chosen.
Bang.
Okay? Now, today, I'm going to go ahead and prove this with, archaeological forensic facts. And we're just going to look at this continent called Pangea. You know what I'm saying? Just to start out. Okay, right here, we have
All right, Pangea. Now, I'm getting to the bottom of this pan, and obviously all this stuff. We're dodging fallen angel hijacks. We got this god, this other god named Pan, and all this stuff. So we're trying to get to the indigenous truth, but clearly we got the pan all over the place. Now, the brother's gonna get into all the continents that are not popped up. He's going to connect it to your body, to your chakras and energy centers. We just talking frequency. It's all in together now. Take it away.
And what we know as Pangea. Okay, Pangea was the Earth's first landmass. Okay, it was one giant landmass on the Earth. And what we are told by mainstream science is that only 7 continents broke off of Pangea. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you that that's false. That is false, baloney, malarkey. Okay? It is a fabricated, false story. And this ties into, me debunking the evolutionary theory. Okay? The evolutionary theory says that human life started in Africa. Well, let me just say something real quick. If we were put here by creators operating on a higher conscious level, why would they only put their creation in only one portion of this landmass? Here you have this huge landmass that covers damn near half of the Earth's circumference. And you mean to tell me that our creators are only going to put melanated humans in one continent and leave all the other continents, leave all the other pieces of the landmass unpopulated? Ladies and gentlemen, what sense does that make? Does that make any sense? Does that make any logical sense? Why would you do that when you can populate multiple groups of people over multiple areas of the landmass known as Pangea? Okay? Because what I'm about to prove today is that that's exactly what happened. We were populated over every section of Pangea. And it wasn't 7 sections of Pangea. It was 13 sections of Pangea. Yes, I said it. There was 13. It all goes back to 13. And we are going to prove that today. Okay, right here, ladies and gentlemen, is the exact reason why they built Las Vegas in southern Nevada. Okay, you say, why do they build Las Vegas in such a secluded, deserted area? You know what I'm saying? With no plant life, no vegetation, no running water. So they had to create the Hoover Dam to get energy to Las Vegas. Why did they build Las Vegas in such a wasteland? Well, I'll tell you why. Okay. Right here we have Rachel, Nevada. They don't have it listed, but Rachel, Nevada would be right here in this area of Nevada. And right here we have Lost Caves and the Lost Wilderness, where these people, archaeologists, are actually finding the mummies and the sarcophagi of ancient pharaohs. Yes, I said it. Ancient pharaohs and ancient mummies of giants found in Nevada.
Is it play?
Okay? I said, if you don't believe me, you can look this up for yourself. Look up the Winnemucca petroglyphs. The Winnemucca petroglyphs, the Lovelock skull, and the parts of the skulls in Lovelock, Nevada. Okay? These are ancient mummies and ancient pharaohs that are in North America. Okay? Right here are more mummies in North America that they really do not want us to know about, because, ladies and gentlemen, we have to start to ask the question, why aren't these being shown to us on TV? You see what I'm saying? Why don't we ever hear about these mummies in Nevada, these mummies in California that were mummified in the same style as the pharaohs in Egypt, people? Why don't we ever hear about this? Look at this. These are all mummies in North America. Why don't we hear about this? Very, very, very strange. Very strange indeed. Very, very strange. Okay, they actually blocked some of those other pictures off. I wonder why. Another mummy found in Nevada. While we're looking at the illusion of ass and titties and gambling in Las Vegas, you see what I'm saying? They're sucking the energy from the tombs of these lost pharaohs in North America. Their sarcophagus, all of them. Look at this. I mean, this is unbelievable. That we've never even heard about these things. Okay? That looks like a mummified woman in North America. Look at this. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. And ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the icing on the cake. This is the carbon date of these mummies found in Spirit Cave, Nevada. Go look up Spirit Cave, Nevada. Okay. We are going to look at the carbon date of these mummies that they found in Nevada that they don't want us to know about, because that's why they built Las Vegas, for a goddamn distraction and for the government to take more people's money. Meanwhile, our true history is being held back from us, ladies and gentlemen. So in 1996, University of California, Riverside anthropologist R. Irvie Taylor examined 17 of the Spirit Cave artifacts using mass spectrometry. Okay, the results indicated that the mummy was approximately 9,400 years old. Now, let me just get this out of the way real quick. 9,400 years ago was the same time, where the pyramids were only about maybe 300 to 400 years old. At this time, 9,400 years ago. So you mean to tell me when we were still in the old dynasty in Kemet, there were pharaohs building their own civilization in North America? Is that what you're telling me?
Is this play?
Is that what you're telling me? But, the mainstream conscious community and mainstream science wants us to be stuck and stagnant and ignorant in the belief that everything started with Egypt. Everything started in Kemet. And ladies and gentlemen, that is false. Sumeria predates Kemet. Ethiopia predates Kemet. And according to this, these mummies in Nevada and in California, also predate Kemet.
And many of the pyramids here predate Kemet. And Atlantis predates Kemet. And Atlantis is here. And if Ethiopia does predate Kemet, then that means Abyssinia predates Kemet. And emperor of the Abyssinians is Prester John, whose lineage predates Kemet. Of Israelites. Where do we leave off of the brother Hiram? That led us beautifully, man. And see how this works. See how beautiful this wave works. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Oh, here we go. Yeah, Hiram. Where do we leave off with my brother? Ruins of Atlantis. So the brother's pulling out this beautiful document, the Egyptian treasure cave of the Grand Canyon. And it's saying in the middle of the 1800s, when the drawings of the Mayan culture by Catherwood, research Catherwood, first came to the public's attention, it was the common belief. No, not the hypothesis of these scholars, but it was their common. It was common sense. It was common sense in there. So what's the big flip now? What's the craziness? It was common. It was common sense in academia that these were the ruins of the lost tribes of Israel or of Atlantis. So they're comparing this lost tribes of Israel with this same sunken island of Atlantis, which is connecting these Maya to coming back to their mountains and valleys here, and Egypt being here already, and North America being part of the continents that was not sunk, such as South America, such as Peru, such as Jerusalem, such as Jerusalem, such as Prester John.
Did y'all hear that?
Did y'all hear that?
Did
Did
y'all hear that?
y'all hear that?
Did y'all hear that?
Did y'all hear that?
I'll read it over.
Come on.
Okay.
Come on.
In the middle of the 1800s were the drawings of the Mayan cultures by Catherine first came to public attention, and it was common belief in the academia that these were the ruins of the lost 10 tribes of Israel or of Atlantis. All of this helps to show newspaper reporter at the Arizona Gazette said in 1909, isn't so outlandish after all.
Isn't so outlandish after all. Israel, Atlantis. In the days of Peleg was the earth divided. In the days of Peleg was the earth divided. We're only talking about American pharaohs and lost continents. Surfing the wave.
If you really want to get technical, there was a skull found in southern Europe in Greece of a African man, or a melanated man, I should say, that was dated to be 700,000 years old. I'm going to repeat. 700,000-year-old skull found in Greece of a melanated man. Why haven't we ever heard about that? Why don't they want to tell us about this, people? You know why? I'm going to tell you why. You see this? You see this melanated man found in Nevada 9,400 years ago? You know why they don't want to tell us that? Because if they told us that, that would mean that this land we call America belongs to the melanated people in America. Because our ancestors were pharaohs here. The people who built the mounds. The mound builders. Okay? In the southern United States, in Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee. The Mississippians. Go look up the Mississippians. All dark-skinned, melanated people. That's why when Christopher Columbus said he came to America, he said that the Native Americans had the same skin color as the Ethiopians. Go look it up. Mr. Columbus wrote it in his goddamn journal. Go look it up. He said that the Native Americans he ran into had the same skin complexion as the Ethiopians. And now that we're talking about these Ethiopians, let's look at this landmass we call Mu, and let's look at this landmass we call Atlantis. Because like I said before, when Pangea broke apart, 7 pieces did not break off of Pangea. It was 13 pieces that broke off of Pangea. Okay, we had Mu in the middle of North America and Asia and Australia. We had Atlantis, okay, that was separating North America from Europe and South America from Africa. We had Atlantis, and Atlantis used to be much bigger than that because Antarctica also used to be part of Atlantis. Okay, also, this is what nobody really knows about. This is called Kamari Condom. Kamari Condom. This was a landmass in between India, Madagascar, and Australia. It connected Madagascar, India, and Australia. And ladies and gentlemen, let me just say this. This is why all these archaeologists and scientists and explorers are finding artifacts of lost civilizations and deserted structures, okay, that are submerged underwater, because these land masses existed and these civilizations existed. We had extra continents on this planet, okay? 13 of them. We originally had 13 of them. I always say it always goes back to the number 13, okay? I want everybody to research the lost civilization of Kumari Condom in between Madagascar, India, and Australia.
And this is heavy, man. The brother AD hit me with this, shot me a text on this, man. So, I mean, look how the wave is rocking. So, you know what I'm saying? Basically, man, when you go back to remember our Lemurian map, y'all thought I was crazy. Y'all thought I was crazy when I first pulled this map out, man. I don't know if it was like 10 months ago or something. And don't let me go back to my Hyborian map, because you know that got to play too. You know that got to play. That got to play. It's a couple little joints we can actually watch. Okay. We surfing the wave. All right. So, obviously, you got America projected here. America projected here. To the left of America, this connects to what we're calling the, California Khalifa. So you got her people connecting right into this Lemuria. And he's going to go into how, Lemuria and lemurs and all this splicing and all that. I don't know. I'm sure the splicing was all over the place. But, we got the real ones rocking that are also connected to, we always got the order and the chaos. So along with the splicing and dicing chaos comes our order. So, we got Khalifa here connected right there with Lemuria, right there with that Hyborian war map was calling Pictland, the Hyborian wilderness, or the Pictish wilderness, which was, separated to these 12 different tribes, and they were the last remnant. They kept calling them the remnant that was fighting the invasion, the Hyborian invasion, the same invasion we're fighting. And they were the Picts, the ancient Picts, right? So these are the same, man, this is all connected to the same people, the same thing. But now we're getting this area right here, Australia, like we're getting is connected to Lemuria, which they were also calling this Lemuria because all this is Lemuria. What's the indigenous name? I don't know. But we're getting there. We're getting there. So we got all this India connecting to Australia. Then we got our, so-called Africa, Abyssinia, Arabenia. All right, so now you got to the right of America, where this Atlantis is connecting to Asia, right? All of Asia. And with that falling became unnavigable waters, in which they finally crossed in the 1400s and found you, so-called Negro, here. Did you come from Africa, or could you have come from here? Did you come from Africa, or could you have come from here? Jerusalem, Peru, Salam. Come on, we need to rewrite everything ourselves. We've been programmed to give up the entire board all into one place, and that's what the brother's breaking down beautifully. I said, that's what the brother's breaking down beautifully. And right quick, let me do a hop skip, very wavy jump into this Kamari Kandam. And again, let the AD, this is only 1 minute, so beautiful. This is what we're talking about, lost continent.
Ancient monuments, deep underwater. A once thriving metropolis, now half a mile under the sea. Lost cities submerged for thousands of years. Ancient alien theorists believe a link between the submerged ruins and extraterrestrials can be found in another set of texts known as India's Sangam literature.
Sangams were assemblies of sages. It says that the first two Sangams took place on a sunken landmass called Kumari Kandam. This area was once above water thousands of years ago, according to the accounts, but it's now underwater. It's also interesting that these assemblies of sages included extraterrestrial beings as well.
Just to let you know, this ain't no play. Let's go.
This is what they don't want us to know about. And also here we have Lemuria and Atlantis. Some people are getting paid by the government to go ahead and say that Atlantis doesn't exist, which is some of the most nonsensical buffoonery I've ever heard in my life. You know why? Because before Atlantis was called Atlantis, and before the Atlantic Ocean was called Atlantic Ocean, You know, it was called Ethiopia and the Ethiopian Ocean. That's why Christopher Columbus said when he came to America, the people in America had the same skin color as the Ethiopians, because Atlantis used to be called Ethiopia. The Atlantic Ocean used to be called the Ethiopian Ocean. Go look it up. The idea of Atlantis comes out of Ethiopia, just how the Greeks got all of their Greek mythology from Ethiopian gods. This is how Zeus, they got the idea of Zeus and Jupiter from the Ethiopian god Ammon. Go look it up. So anybody saying Atlantis never existed is actually saying Ethiopia never existed, because the Greeks didn't invent anything, ladies and gentlemen. They only copied from the melanated people who showed them civilization.
And are they not calling you Ethiopia, Israel? Do they not keep calling you Ethiopia, Israel? Do they not keep calling you Ethiopia, Israel? I mean, ain't that just code word for dark skin, chosen people, Abyssinia? Let's see, man. Let's get it for this dismount. Let's get it. Don't you play. Give me my seawall, man. Oh, they playing with my seawall. Okay. They're gonna make me work for this dismount, but it's worth it, man. It's worth it when you see what I'm going. When you see where we're getting to. Let's go. Yeah, man. So, they called us Ethiopians. They called us all these things. It does not mean a place. Ethiopia does not mean Africa. Not the origin of it. It just meant any dark region, any dark-skinned people. And were you not called Ethiopians? Oh, man, they're gonna make me work. They ain't gonna make me work. Samuel George, there we go. Oh, okay. God just wanted to make me work for it. So they called you Ethiopians, man, and this is love to let us find the truth. Forgetting to drop on the Sam C. Wall. Sam C. Wall. So we're gonna get to it, man. Y'all know about Sam C. Wall? Samuel C. Wall? One of the abolitionists, who was pretty much breaking down what he was seeing. He has an interesting perspective that Let Us Find the Truth broke down to us a while back, so I love to keep going back to this. Samuel C. Wall, a prominent minister and magistrate, published this tract in Boston in the 1700s, responding to a public controversy over the status of Adam and enslaved. Come on, hijack free. Static, can't stop me. I'm hijack free. Get off my ex. All right, let's go. I know I'm crazy. All right, so, responding to a public controversy over the status of Adam, an enslaved servant held by another magistrate, John Safin. Safin had promised Adam his freedom and then reneged on his pledge. Adam contested Safin's action in court, and the dispute went on for 3 years. Adam and his wife finally became free in 1703. Let's get this, man. Let's go. I want to get right to the drop. Right to the drop, man. The selling of Joseph. Don't you play. All right, so this abolitionist writes the selling of Joseph. He wants you to read it one day. He wants you to refer to it one day. Let's get it, though. For as much as liberty is in real value next unto life, none are to part with it themselves or deprive others of it, but upon most mature consideration. So he's saying, man, everybody, deserves liberty. Nobody should depart from it. All right, so the numerousness of slaves at this day of the province and the the Unicinos, I don't know what that Unices of them under the slavery, hath put many upon thinking whether the foundation of it be firmly and well laid, so as to sustain, you know how the F's are S's, Assyria, Africa, sustain the vast weight that is built upon it. It is most certain that all men, as they are the sons of Adam, are coheirs and have equal rights unto liberty and all other outward comforts of life. He says, God has given earth with all its commodities unto the sons of Adam. All right, so he had a verse. He said, now, although the title given by the last Adam doth infinitely better men's estates respecting God and themselves, and grant them a most beneficial and invaluable lease under the broad seal of heaven, who were before only tenants at will, yet through the indulgence of God to our first parents after the fall, the outward estate of all and ever of the children remains the same as to one another, so that originally and naturally there is no such thing as slavery. Joseph was rightfully no more a slave to his brethren than they were to him, and they had no more authority to sell him than they had to slay him. All right, so we're going to get down to how he feels about you, Ethiopian, you Ethiopians and Negroes. Let's just jump right into it. As many Negro men as there are among us, so many empty places there are in our train bands, and the places taken up of men that might make husbands for our daughters, and the sons of daughters of New England would become more like Jacob and Rachel if the slavery were thrust quite out of doors. Moreover, it is too well known that the temptations masters are under to connive to the fornication of their slaves, lest they should be obliged to find them wives or pay their fines. It seems to be practically pleaded that they might be lawless till this. So much of the law should have sanctification for their thefts or the immoralities, by which means this is homes or something to the Lord is more rarely engraven upon the fort of servitude. Okay, here we go. But it is profitable by this cursory reading. This text may have been mistaken, for Canaan is the perfect cursed reading. So cursory reading. So this Canaan is the perfect curse 3 times over without the mention of Cham, Khan, Cam, Cham, without the mention of Cham. Good explorers or expositors suppose the curse entailed on him that the prophecy was accomplished in the interpretation of the Canaanites and the servitude of the Gibeonites, all right, whereas the blackamoors are not descended of Canaan, but Cush. All right, then it says, princes shall come upon Egypt, Mizraim, Ethiopia. Cush shall stretch out her hands unto God, unto the names. All Africa may be comprehended, and their permitted conversion ought to be prayed for. Now you see this the niggers are brought out of a pagan country. These are all things that are being